Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to our wonderful B'nai Academy, a special Torah for Gentiles. And I am your host, Rabbi Weinberg. And without further ado, we are discussing the 10 ways we see God's constant involvement in the world. So, way number 2 is as follows. God, as we discussed in the first episode, created the world. But he didn't only create the world. He created the world and he gave us a manual for life. And that manual is called the Torah. As we discussed in the previous episode, Judaism teaches us that this world is not only for the Jews, it is for basically everyone and everything. Everything one has a purpose in God's creation. God gave us the Torah. And now there was only one religion. Many religions claim, and every day and somebody else claims that God is speaking to them and everybody should listen to what they have to say. But there's only one that an entire nation saw God speaking to them, and that, of course, is Judaism. And Judaism includes everything we need to know to be a moral person and a spiritual person. And God gave 7 laws of Noah for the whole world. Now, this is very, very important to understand. God is not an entity. He doesn't have any shape. He doesn't have any form. He doesn't have any limitations. God is actually beyond our understanding. But we do know that he has no limitation. And if he has no limitation and he created something limited, he is not limited by the limitation that he made. Just like if I'm an artist and I make a painting, I don't get limited by that painting. I could paint an infinite amount of other paintings as long as I live an infinite amount of time. The same thing is just because God gave us the Torah, he gave us instructions of how to live. Again, going back to the holy Baal Shem Tov, one of the great masters that revealed the inner secrets of the Torah. Just because God gave us the Torah comes from the word hora'ah, lessons, teachings. God is consistently teaching us. He's giving us advice for life. And so it's very, very important to understand this, that this is not a one-time affair. Every time you study the Torah, God is teaching you the Torah. Every single time you walk in the street, God is teaching you Torah. You say, well, I don't hear a voice teaching me Torah. The answer is that there are basically 3 frequencies going on in the world. There's the physical world, which is nature. It has a rote, the sun, the moon. Everything has a certain system by how it works. And that system is fixed. Then there is kind of the ethical system that God made, which is also fixed. The 7 Noahide laws, don't kill, don't steal, etc., are never going to change. But then there is a spiritual system that God is speaking to us. And this is very, very important to understand, because God did not give us the Torah and say, okay, just do this. He says, I want you to be a Torah being. I want you to be a spiritual being. I want you to know that every single moment you are getting communication on how to grow and how to be a better person. I remember when I took this teaching for the Baal Shem Tov, really implemented it in my life. So I got very excited about it, as we often do. And what I did is I started asking myself everywhere, okay, what is God teaching me now? And eventually I got to the point where at first I was like obsessed for 2 weeks. I was learning from, and then right now almost I have a third voice in my head, which is everything I see, everything I hear, I take a lesson. And it's such an amazing way to live, because you're never bored. There's always something amazing that you could learn. God is always communicating. So the second way we see that God is always with us is, first of all, he gave us the Torah, he gave us instruction. But not only did he give us instruction, he's giving us instruction. Right now, you are getting instructions. Everything you see and everything you hear, sometimes even a thought that comes to your mind, this is God speaking to you, helping you grow, and that is the journey of life, infinite growth. So he is with each and every one of us. Think about Google, think about a GPS. There could be billions of users, and yet there's one system communicating with every single user, helping us all upgrade. Thank you for watching episode 2, and we are going to head right now to episode 3. In episode 3, we're going to be discussing the idea of infinite growth.